Approval. Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the April 24th, 2023 meeting. I move the approval of action item 1A. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That item passes. We'll now address the action items on the policy calendar. Policy item 1B1A is a resolution to transfer the degree granting authority for the Doctor of Audiology from the Graduate School and University Center to Brooklyn College. I now call Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Wendy Hensel to provide further background on this item.
Thank you. Transfer of the degree granting authority for this program will support both the Graduate Center's plan to focus on traditional academic doctoral and master's programs and Brooklyn College's plan to become both a Carnegie R3 doctoral granting institution, as well as a pipeline for students interested in careers in healthcare. Brooklyn College's faculty have the requisite scholarly and clinical expertise to offer the program, and the transfer of this degree granting authority will generate approximately $84,000 a year to Brooklyn College's operating budget while adding no additional costs.
Okay. I move the approval of policy item 1B1A. Do I have a second? Angela?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Yes.
Does that mean there's going to be an $84,000 reduction to the Graduate Center?
That's a good question. I assume so, but I don't know.
And is this
I do know it was at their request that we made the transfer.
And is this the first doctoral program at Brooklyn College, or are there others?
I don't know. Do we have Ann? Ann Lopes, the provost from Brooklyn, is better situated to answer that question than I.
Hello. So it's the first doctoral program at Brooklyn College.
A great day.
It is a great day for Brooklyn College.
Exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Discussion? Okay.
Thank you, Ann.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B1B is a resolution to establish a program in nursing education leading to the Master of Science degree at Hunter College. I now call Executive Vice Chancellor Hensel to provide further background.
The proposed program will address the nursing faculty shortage and complement Hunter's new nursing PhD program by providing opportunities for students to teach without the additional research demands of the PhD program. Because it will be offered online, it will offer opportunities for practicing nurses who are clinical experts to redefine their roles as nurse educators and to balance coursework with employment and family responsibilities. There will be minimal additional costs for the MS program.
Thank you. So I will move the approval of policy item 1B1B. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item? Yes, Henry.
One, how does this affect the SPS online nursing program? And two, is this intended to be a full-time program, or is it like SPS, a part-time program?
Well, this is a PhD program, right?
No, master's.
it's
a master's program.
It's a master's.
Is there a representative from, oh, thank you, Jennifer.
Jennifer, do you?
Sorry, usually I have the list of guests, and I don't have them for some reason today.
So, Trustee Schroeder's first question, very excellent question. It's actually to complement. SBS has this program, and so does York, but the demand is just growing. I think we all know the demand for teaching faculty in nursing is really exponential. So as Provost said, this takes the pressure off the PhD program for people who just want to do clinical work and create the adjunct. So there's this need. And the expectation is probably be a part-time program because most of these people are working, although I think they could probably accumulate credit since a lot of it's asynchronous and they could do it on their own time, but it will probably be part-time.
Thank you.
Any other
And I
questions?
think there's just enough demand that everybody should do this.
Any other questions? Okay, so all in favor? Let's vote.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B1C is a resolution to establish a program in African diaspora literature leading to the Bachelor of Arts degree at Medgar Evers College. Again, Provost Hensel.
The proposed program dovetails well with CUNY's Black Race and Ethnic Studies initiative and would represent the first bachelor's degree program at CUNY that is entirely focused on the literature of the African diaspora. The program will encourage students to engage in co-curricular and extracurricular programming through existing and developing partnerships with various centers and institutes at Medgar Evers College and throughout the university. Additionally, the proposed program will further CUNY's mission to serve its diverse population by graduating students who will be able to succeed in a wide range of professional and academic areas and advance the cause of social justice in diverse local, national, and global arenas.
Thank you. I move the approval of policy item 1B, 1C. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none. We will now vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B2A is a resolution to appoint Dave A. I hope I got this right. Chokshi, is that right? Chokshi? Chokshi, MD, with immediate tenure at the City College of New York with a waiver of bylaw 6.2B. Provost Hensel?
Dr. Dave A. Chokshi, is an extraordinary scholar and practitioner who has held prominent leadership roles in the realm of public health and has contributed mightily to the New York City area and the nation. For example, as the 43rd Commissioner at the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, Dr. Chokshi led the city's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including its historic campaign to vaccinate over 6 million New Yorkers, saving tens of thousands of lives. He also launched the nation's first publicly authorized overdose prevention centers, and as chair of the NYC Board of Health, promulgated a landmark resolution on racism as a public health crisis. City College plans to appoint him as the Sternberg Family Professor of Leadership in the Department of Anthropology and Interdisciplinary Programs. My esteemed colleague, Provost Tony Liss, is with us today to answer questions you might have.
So I move the approval of policy item 1B2A.
Second.
Second, okay, any questions?
We love Dr. Dave.
There you do. I miss him on those TV ads.
I think we're very lucky to get him.
Yes.
Very
All right.
much so.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B2B is a resolution to award Phyllis Curtis Tweed with an immediate tenure at Queensborough Community College with an application of bylaw 6.2B.
Dr. Curtis Tweed's teaching experience, scholarship, publications, and consistent commitment and dedication to furthering student success will elevate Queensborough Community College to the forefront of theory and practice in higher education. She is the Commissioner-elect of the New England Commission for Higher Education and is the successful candidate from a nationwide search for Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs at QCC, the appointment for which has already or also been recommended to the Board of Trustees. If the committee has any questions about this item, our colleague, President Mangino, is here to address them.
Okay. I move the approval of policy item 1B2B. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor? Any opposed or abstentions? Item passes. Policy item 1B3A through 1B3H pertain to resolutions to award early tenure to faculty at various campuses with an application of bylaw 6.2C2 as follows. City College, Sarah Muir and Matthew Riley. College of Staten Island, Paul Archibald and Rupa Gupta. John Jay College, Lucia Villati. Lehman College, Mila Burns. School of Law, Lisa Davis and Charis Keogh Smith. Now call on Provost Hensel once again.
City College presents Sarah Muir and Mark Riley from the Anthropology and Interdisciplinary Programs Department for consideration. In addition to being an internationally renowned expert in her field and producing work of the highest caliber, Dr. Muir has a record of exemplary service at both the college and university level. Dr. Riley is an internationally recognized leading scholar of historical archaeology with expertise in the Caribbean and West Africa. He is considered an innovative and impactful instructor and mentor for both undergraduate and graduate students in the classroom. The College of Staten Island recommends Paul Archibald and Rupa Gupta, from the Departments of Social Work and Chemistry, respectively, for consideration. Professor Archibald investigates how stress and trauma negatively impact the mental and physical well-being of people experiencing marginalization and has an outstanding record of service at the college, university, and community. Professor Gupta provides outstanding contributions in inorganic chemistry, biochemistry, and physical chemistry. She has secured the highest level of grant funding for an assistant professor in the history of CSI's chemistry department. John Jay presents Lucia Villati of the Department of Security, Fire, and Emergency Management for consideration. Professor Villati is a highly productive scholar and leader in her field who has held leadership roles with FEMA and the National Science Foundation. Lehman College recommends Mila Burns from the Department of Latin American and Latino Studies. Dr. Burns has a strong service record and is an effective grant writer and leader in curricular development. She created and coordinated a fully trilingual English, Spanish, Portuguese online certificate program with Lehman's School of Continuing and Professional Studies. As a primary recruiter, she is providing an on-ramp for underrepresented students to access to higher education. Professor Burns is a respected journalist and New York correspondent for Brazil's largest television network. And the School of Law presents for consideration Lisa Davis and Charissa Keogh-Smith. Lisa Davis is a Fulbright scholar at the forefront of defining new areas of international law regarding gender-based persecution. Professor Davis's activism, legal analysis, and unwavering commitment to gender justice is recognized by scholars around the world and has earned Professor Davis recognition for pushing the discussion to include LGBTQIA+ individuals in the protections afforded by the Rome Statute. Charissa Smith is a renowned expert and leader in her field who has acquired a national reputation as one of the leading scholars working at the intersection of family law, criminal law, disability rights, and racial and gender justice. A number of leaders have joined us today to answer questions about any of these appointments if you have them.
Thank you. I move the approval of policy item 1B3A through 1B3H. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll now vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that item passes. Policy item 1B4 is a resolution to appoint Vanessa Botello as Associate Professor at the Graduate School of Journalism with a waiver of bylaw 11.5B. Full votes?
Vanessa Botelho is an expert on broadcast journalism and is the recipient of multiple awards, including 2 Emmys. Vanessa Botelho has a consistent record of professional experience, teaching, and service to the Newmark School, bringing years of teaching experience and a commitment to helping educate and launch the next generation of diverse journalists. Both Dean Graciela Mochovsky and Associate Dean Allison Lichter have joined us today to answer any questions that you might have.
I move the approval of policy item 1B4. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll now vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, that item passes. Policy item 1B5A through 1B5F relate to resolutions to appoint distinguished professors at various campuses as follows. Brooklyn College, Jason Eckhart and David Grubbs, Department of Music. Hunter College, Sarit Gulab, Department of Psychology. School of Journalism, Masha Green, Department of Journalism. School of Public Health and Health Policy, Renee Goodwin, Department of Epidemiology and Biostatistics, and Terry Wong, Department of Health Policy Manager.
After a rigorous review process by the campuses, the central office, and an ad hoc review committee of distinguished professors, we present these distinguished professor nominees for your consideration. From Brooklyn College, Jason Eckhart and David Grubbs of the Department of Music. Professor Eckhart is an internationally renowned composer, musician, and creative artist recognized by 13 major fellowships and residencies. He has produced 23 commercial recordings and received over 40 commissions. Professor Grubbs is a prolific and internationally acclaimed multidisciplinary composer, musician, poet, and critic, recognized by 14 residencies, grants, and awards. He has produced over 200 commercially released recordings. From Hunter College, Sarit Gulab of the Department of Psychology. Professor Gulab is a renowned scholar of social psychology, public health, and implementation science. Her research has changed the practice and implementation of sexual well-being programs for public health, including New York State and New York City Board of Health clinical guidelines for taking sexual histories. From the School of Journalism, Masha Gessen. A staff writer at the New Yorker, Masha Gessen is a renowned educator and internationally known journalist, an expert on Russia who is the recipient of 15 international fellowships and is committed to help educate and launch the next generation of diverse journalists. Professor Gessen has a consistent record of publication and international thought leadership on public affairs and has appeared as a commentator on CNN, MSNBC, NPR, and other news outlets. From the School of Public Health and Health Policy, Renee Goodwin and Terry Wong. I hope I said that right. Professor Goodwin is an internationally renowned expert in public health focused on the intersection of epidemiology, human ecology, and clinical psychology, who has consistently secured major national research funding. She is a sought-after speaker and consultant and is the deputy editor of Nicotine and Tobacco Research and associate editor of Drug and Alcohol Dependence Reports. Professor Huang is an internationally recognized prevention scientist at the forefront of innovative and transdisciplinary research in public health. He has secured millions of dollars in grant funding and serves as co-director of the NYU CUNY Prevention Research Center, a CDC-funded center of excellence. We have with us today representative from the colleges to answer any questions that you have about these nominees.
Thank you. I move the approval of policy item 1B5A through 1B5F. Do I have a second?
Second.
And do we have any discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, that item passes. Policy item 1B6 is a resolution requesting the approval of the Faculty Personnel Matters Report of the Education Policy Committee.
The information contained in the June report includes appointments and reappointments with tenure and fellowship leave that were previously reported to the Committee for Faculty, Staff, and Administration. Faculty are evaluated and reappointed on a systematic basis through a highly rigorous process involving local governance as well as approval of the institution's chief academic officer and president, with the goal of awarding tenure to retain superior faculty. Fellowship leave is granted to faculty to conduct research, improve their teaching, or produce creative work as part of the nationally recognized responsibilities of the professoriate. The Faculty Personnel Matters Report of the Education Policy Committee being presented today was generated in summary format from faculty data entered by the campuses into CUNY First between March 27th, 2023 and May 7th, 2023.
Thank you. I move the approval of policy item 1B6. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or
I
questions?
just have a question. I don't have it in front of me, but it appeared that there was something, I think, from the law school dating to 2020. Is that accurate? Was that a typo?
I can check on that. Do we have?
The dean is here. There was a leave that related to 2020?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sure,
Yeah.
please.
I don't have it in front of
No,
me.
we
I'm
don't
pulling
open
it
it.
up
We
for
gotta
you
open
right
it.
here. And that's the law school one.
I think it was the law school, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it.
I'm sorry, could you mention again who the leave was?
My memory is good. So, one of the items on the calendar was, I believe, an academic leave for a period in 2020 that's first coming before us.
Yeah,
Is
right, yeah.
is that
A
a typo, an anomaly, or are we that far behind in our work?
I credit you for reading this so well. Picking this up.
Got a new nickname, Eagle Eye.
2019 to 2020. I'm looking
I
for
figured
law
this would
school.
have come
Here we
from
go.
one of you.
So it was effective from 9/1/2019 to 8/31/2020, and it was Nina Chernoff. So it already happened,
Nina Chernoff,
but that's a reappointment, though.
is
So
that a
it's weird.
It
reappointment?
says
It
reappointment.
says reappointment.
We can get you
Dates
that
are weird.
information. I think it probably, unless you know.
I don't know, I mean, this is clearly several years old at this point. So Nina is a tenured professor at the law school, and and she is not one of the people who's slated for leave next year, so I'm actually not even familiar with where this generated to be here.
Okay.
And I
I'll have
apologize for
somebody
that.
look at it and figure out how it got on our calendar
Yeah,
in
We will investigate.
June of
sure,
2023.
that sounds right. Sorry about that.
No, sorry we didn't catch it earlier.
So in terms of voting for this, do we make this as an exception to that piece?
No, they'll give us
Gail?
more
Just-
information.
They'll just give us more information.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
You
If
can
it
still
come up in
vote for the
2020
We can still
report
vote for the
in its
report,
entirety.
but we'll have, okay,
Right.
that's what
We
I'm
probably would have approved in 2020 anyway. but,
Exactly right. So,
No.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or oppositions? No, hearing none, the item passes with clarifications later on. Policy item 1B7 is a resolution requesting approval of the actions in the Curriculum Academic Policy Dashboard Report.
Routine, You just need to point. Yeah, I'll get started. Routine academic matters, local academic policies, and course inclusions in the university's general education program are presented to the Committee on Education Policy in summary form via an online dashboard, which makes it possible to explore graphic representation and charts over time. A few highlights from this month include the classification of 20 new general education courses among colleges, giving students more options to study the physical sciences, math, and the humanities, 28 program actions, and 3 revised undergraduate policies.
Okay, thank you. So I move approval of policy item 1B7. A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, we'll now vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, that item passes. With no more items on the agenda, I move to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I read this stuff.
You did.
You gotta be careful.
Clearly.